Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a story for you that's a little embarrassing, a little funny, and a whole lot of heart. I'm going to tell you exactly how I finally managed to start dating my long-term crush, Britta. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a shy person. I can chat with pretty much anyone, no problem. But when Britta was around, forget about it. I'd turn into a complete mumbling fool. It was so strange. I could be having a great conversation with friends, and then Britta would just walk down the hall, and boom, my face would turn beet red, and I'd clam up. I just couldn't get over it. But hey, before we get into the juicy details, do me a huge favor and smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It's scientifically proven to make you live 20 amazing years longer. Okay, maybe not scientifically proven, but it will definitely make you happy when you see my next video pop up. So, it's a win-win, right? Alright, let's rewind. This whole thing started way back in elementary school. We were in the same class, and from the very first day I saw her, I was a goner. To me, she was the prettiest girl in the entire school, even when we were just little kids. She had this long brown hair that she always wore in 2 ponytails, and I swear I thought they were the cutest ponytails on the planet. Yep, I had a massive case of puppy love for her when I was, 7 years old. Looking back, it's kind of ridiculous that it took me so many years to actually ask her out. The real turning point came because our friends were completely fed up with us. They were tired of watching our endless will-they drama play out year after year. They decided to take matters into their own hands, which is how I ended up locked in a closet with Britta, my childhood crush. Yes, you heard that right, a closet. But we'll get to that part in a bit. First, you need to understand that Britta wasn't just pretty. Oh no, she was brilliant. She was the president of our student council, and every year I loved watching her campaign. She'd stand up there, smiling at everyone with this huge, confident grin, talking about all her ideas to improve the school. I must have listened to her speeches a million times. To be completely honest, though, I never actually heard a single word she said. I just used it as the perfect excuse to stare at her without looking like a total creep. I'd just get lost in those incredible blue eyes of hers, and her style. She always dressed so prim and proper, no matter where she was. She was just perfect. So there I was, hopelessly crushing from a distance, while she was busy running the school and being amazing. I thought I was being so subtle, but as it turns out, everyone knew, especially our friends. They saw me staring. They saw her occasionally glancing my way, and they just couldn't take the suspense anymore. They knew something had to be done to break the cycle. So one afternoon, during a school event, my friend Mark came up to me and said he needed help moving some boxes into the storage closet in the gym. Seemed normal enough, right? I agreed, and we headed over. He opened the door. I stepped inside, and suddenly the door slammed shut behind me, and I heard the lock click. I started banging on the door, yelling at Mark, but then I heard another voice in the dark, a very familiar voice. Is someone there? It was Britta. My heart just about leaped out of my chest. Our friends had locked us in a closet together. My worst nightmare and my wildest dream all rolled into one. At first, it was so awkward. I mean, pitch black, just the two of us. I could hear her breathing. I think I mumbled something like, "So nice weather we're having. In this closet. Super smooth, I know." But then she laughed. It wasn't a pity laugh. It was a genuine, beautiful laugh, and that broke the ice. We started talking for real this time. I wasn't a mumbling fool anymore. We talked about elementary school, about her ponytails, which made her laugh again. I confessed that I'd had a crush on her forever. And you know what she said? She said, "I know. I kind of had one on you too." My mind was blown. All those years of silent pining, and she felt the same way. We spent what felt like hours in that closet, just talking and getting to know the real person behind the crush. So, yeah, that's the crazy story of how a locked closet and some meddling friends finally got me the girl of my dreams. I've been in love with Britta for as long as I can remember. Seriously, it feels like my first memory is of her, probably in kindergarten, wearing one of those cute pleated skirts and a nice blouse. There was just something about her, or maybe it was everything she did, that completely captivated me. I couldn't stop thinking about Britta, ever. My mum used to find it hilarious. She'd laugh whenever I brought her up and thought it was the sweetest thing how I always had something nice to say. She once told me, "You know, Mike, you talk about Britta the same way most boys talk about candy. With that dreamy look in your eyes." I must have been around 8 years old then, but that look apparently never went away. Mum said I got it every single time someone mentioned Britta's name. I'm not sure if that's sweet or a little bit creepy, but I honestly couldn't help it. My love for Britta was a constant. The crazy part is, we were actually good friends. It's just that I was a complete disaster around her. I'd be this totally normal guy, and then Britta would walk into the room, and suddenly I was the most awkward person on the planet. I remember trying so hard to act cool, lean against a locker or say something witty, but it always backfired. I'd trip over my own feet or say something that made no sense. My friends had a field day with it, constantly making fun of me. Britta lived just a block and a half away from my house, so I walked her home from school a lot. Those walks were the best part of my day. We'd talk about everything school, music, movies, our dreams for the future. We had this amazing connection, but I could never ever bring myself to ask her out. It was like hitting a wall. The moment I even thought about admitting my feelings, my brain would just freeze. It was so frustrating. I couldn't get past this one single problem. And what was weird is that I wasn't a shy person in general. I could talk to anyone about anything. But when it came to telling this pretty, brown-haired girl how I felt, I was paralyzed by it. I guess deep down I thought she was perfect. Absolutely flawless. And in my mind, there was no way in hell a perfect girl like her would ever date a guy like me. So I kept walking her home, listening to her talk about her life, all while my own feelings were screaming inside my head. I'd practice what I wanted to say over and over in the mirror. Britta, I really like you. Simple, right? But every time the opportunity came, the words got stuck in my throat. I was so scared of rejection, so convinced I wasn't good enough, that I let one of the best connections I ever had just stay in the friend zone. Looking back, it's a mix of funny and sad. I spent years admiring this girl from afar, even when she was right next to me. We would hang out with our group of friends, go to parties, and I'd just watch her, wondering, what if? What if I had just taken a chance? What if I had been brave for just 5 seconds? Maybe things would have been different. One summer, her family moved away. I remember the day she told me. We were sitting on her front porch, and she said they were leaving at the end of August. My heart just sank. All those walks home, all those conversations were about to end, and I still hadn't told her. The last time I walked her home, I wanted to say it more than anything. It was my last chance, but again, I choked. I just said, well, I'll miss you, and gave her a lame, awkward hug. For years after she left, I kicked myself for being such a coward. I wondered what she would have said. Maybe she felt the same way. Maybe she didn't. But I'll never know, because I never asked. That experience taught me a huge lesson. Fear of rejection is temporary, but regret can last a lifetime. If you feel something for someone, you have to find the courage to say it. The what-ifs are so much harder to live with than a simple no. So, if you're out there and you have your own Britta, don't make the same mistake I did. Take that leap. It's scary, I know, but it's so much better than spending years wondering what could have been. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've got a similar one, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.